Wrestling fans, it is Super Bowl Sunday, February the 5th, 2012. I'm Dan Mirade. Welcome to the 5th installment of MWF iTalk Radio. We're going to try and keep it sweet, simple, and to the point tonight. It is Super Bowl Sunday, as I mentioned. The Patriots and the Giants rematch from it was the 2007 season, but the game was in the winter of 2008. My Royal Rumble prediction was a little off, even though I did hint at a surprise. Sometimes you can't let the cat out of the bag. But anyway, I may be one of the few, but I predict that the Patriots are going to win big tonight because I believe Bill Belichick is going to construct a master plan to destroy the Giants because the Giants ruined the chance for the Patriots to go 19-0 during their last Super Bowl matchup. I could be 110% wrong. It could be a very tight game, but the more I think about it, with Belichick being the 80 gram of finishes, so to speak, I believe it'll be a big Patriots win tonight. I'm busy doing MWF grunt work. I don't know. I know there is a massive Super Bowl party of epic proportions going on here in MWF Studios. Hopefully they'll save me a sandwich or something. But nonetheless, what do we have going on? MWF wrestling around the world. Things I was yakking about on Facebook this week at Facebook.com/Dan Mirade, as well as my Twitter at Dan Mirade. That's an easy one to remember. Let's talk a little MWF first. We are getting closer and closer to Road to the Gold. Saturday, March the 3rd, Fairmont, North Carolina Middle School fundraiser for the South Robeson Rescue Squad. Great people. Other than the fact that Dylan Cage and John Cena are going to be there, it would be tremendous. But the Warhawk Dylan Cage, MWF Southern Heavyweight Champion, he is a tremendous athlete no matter what you think of him. He'll be putting the gold on the line. WWE legend, the man that ended Bruno Sammartino's championship reign, the Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff, will be making a special appearance. John Cena Sr., another man for whatever reason is beloved in North Carolina. He will be there live. It's going to be a great event. Tickets, I believe, start at just $10. Check out MWFNorthCarolina.com. Click that little button that says MWF South for all the information you need on the biggest event to hit North Carolina in 2012 so far. As we continue, Soul Survivor Super Bowl Super Sunday. Online now, it's a little bit over 20 minutes. 4 big matches announced. 2 new superstars announced. All kinds of merchandise announced. Free charity live event. How you can attend. I mean, it's just getting bigger and better. I love the idea that we did this. SS is the easiest way to put it because I always get the name wrong. It's like that new TNA promotion, Ring King. I think I got it right. Maybe it's something we can do every year. I don't know if Soul Survivor is going to be, North Carolina exclusive or maybe South Carolina next year, but I thought it was pretty cool to do something on the Super Bowl when it's typically a day where visitors on the website are down. But if you haven't seen it yet, check out BostonWrestling.com. Links are available at Facebook.com/MWF2001, Twitter.com/MWF2001. Follow us if you don't. And it's a pretty good shoot. I even had my Tom Brady jersey on for it to bring the Patriots a little bit luck, I hope. Tickets are the best value in professional wrestling, bar none, with everything you get for the price that is listed now is insane. It is insane. And I think you can tell by the emotion that I put into the SSB SS special. It really is. I mean, 8 featured guests, admission to a tremendous professional wrestling live event. Autographs, one with each star. Photos, one with each star. I believe this video is a great explanation as far as how the day is going to run. So it's all good. Check it out. We kind of have a new look to the site that's going to slowly but surely pop up on just about every page. that I kind of like. It's a little bit easier to navigate. The MWF homepage, otherwise known as the Newsline, that'll remain as is, so you can have easy access to all the different, spots on the BostonWrestling.com super site. But just having that tiny little strip up at the top where you can click some of the more exciting parts of the site, and then you have a little YouTube and Facebook and so on. But check out BostonWrestling.com. You're going to see updates. One of my biggest issues right now that continues with Homestead is that the email situation has finally been rectified, but every account has to be reconfigured. Considering we have 30 active email accounts, I have to reconfigure each and every one of them. That is a pain in the ass. I've done 2 out of 30 so far to show you how long that takes. But we're going to get things going. Now it's just up to Homestead support to explain to us how to get the site moving at a better speed as it used to, and how to be able to work with the front page again. They're horrible. I've been working with them on this issue since, I shouldn't even say that. I contacted them initially January 29th. I've been in touch with them almost every day, but as usual, almost no response to either one of them, so I'm kind of pissed off about that. They're always quick to take the money out of the bank account, but when it comes time to help, not so good. Anyway, moving right along, MWF TV in the month of February is going to be very interesting because there's a lot of video content coming your way. On the February Cyberstars, you've asked for it. We're bringing it to you. The return of the wild and unpredictable Boogeyman. Never know what the Boogeyman is going to do. It's been a while since we've seen him on MWF television. He is back for February sweeps. Both Julian Starr and Scott Reed are coming off losses. Both men want an opportunity to compete, have a chance to move up the championship consideration. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I believe Julian is only 1 win away from really moving to the next level here in the Millennium Wrestling Federation, as he showed on the New Year's Eve special against Jay Lethal. Scott Reed is another phenomenal talent, but I think he hails from Mars sometimes. He's out there. It makes him a more interesting personality to deal with here in the MWF, but on our end it can be difficult sometimes. But when that bell rings, Scott Reed can get the job done. On the February edition of the Superstar Zone, we have a couple of matches with hungry young athletes looking to establish themselves here in the MWF. That's one thing I love about this great sport, is those hungry young athletes trying to make a niche for themselves, trying to see what their work ethic is, how bad they want it, how hungry they are, so to speak. I'm happy to announce that Frankie Arion has joined the roster of the Millennium Wrestling Federation. Tremendous athlete, hungry young athlete again. I have to give props to one of our officials, Eric Stefanowitz, who showed me a tremendous matchup via YouTube of him. With my schedule and tolerance level for human beings, sometimes I have only attended one independent wrestling event since 2006. So I haven't seen a lot of them. I've heard good things about them, but anyway, saw the match, loved it. Eric set it up. So he owes Eric a drink or a dinner at Kowloon or something like that. But I'm really excited to have him as part of the MWF roster, hopefully at Soul Survivor 8. Interviews this week coming right along. We're going to be hearing from TNA X Division standout Zema Ion, also set to make his MWF debut at Soul Survivor 8, March the 24th in Melrose. What can you say? One hell of an athlete, a spectacular professional wrestler, different style than you'll typically see. He's someone that has the potential to steal the show. March 24th, as I mentioned on SSSB. Al Snow, we heard his point of view about North Carolina being an inside job during SSSB. And we have another interview with Al that will take place during the Soul Survivor 8 Countdown show, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have some special guests with me. It's not going to be something I'm going to do alone. It's something in studio. I think it'll be, again, something different from what we've done in the past. We'll really build up Soul Survivor 8. And with the plethora of guests we have coming in, I think it'll make it an even more interesting program. But more news on that to come. If you've been on YouTube, my dear Lord, did Quincy Rastani rock or what? Quincy and Ox Baker have become the musical duo known as Ox Briscoe. You talk about a lighter side of professional wrestling. I think people know how serious I take it, but nonetheless, there's a lot of uniqueness to that, if you want to call it music. The special dedication to Al Snow is also a good one. They have their Valentine, their rockin' 80s Valentine special coming up. That'll be coming next week, too. I do not know what to expect out of that, but I am looking forward to it with my unique sense of humor. Anyway, moving right along, as the game is getting ready to start, if it hasn't already, wrestling schools, something that I pontificated about on Facebook. It's a big point of contention to me. It rubs people the wrong way. I don't care. It's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. Hopefully some agree. Hopefully some have an open mind and see it as my opinion. Some may hate me for it. Don't really give a rat's ass. If you are someone that is interested in training in the great sport of professional wrestling, do your homework before you plunk down your hard-earned money, or perhaps money you had to borrow, or was it a gift, or whatever it may be, to go to a professional wrestling school. Not all of them are professional wrestling schools, as you can see by some of the people that are there, some of the people that never amount to anything. Really, find out what the trainers have done. What are their accomplishments? Who have they trained? Where have their trainees gone? Ask specific questions before you plunk down that money. Everyone has the dream, and I don't knock anyone for having the dream, but this is not for everyone. Believe me, I'm a huge Red Sox fan. I have tickets to, oh my God, I think 21 games this season. I'd love to be the first baseman for the Red Sox, but it ain't happening. It's the same thing with being a professional wrestler. If you have that desire and that hunger to be a part of the sport, go for it. But you know what? Be realistic about it. If you don't have size, if you are not an athlete, if you don't go to the gym, you hate to say it, but why waste your time and your money and your efforts? I don't know, just my opinion. If you show up at a wrestling school looking the way some of the people I've seen look, if I was running the school, despite it being a business, I'd tell them to turn around and go home because it is an insult to the sport. If you want to get involved in what we do, you need to look the part. You need to be ready to train for the part. This is the king of sports, not rah-rah BS, and I hate that, which is the reason why I can't tolerate a lot of the different independents around there. Around here, I should say, in the Northeast. Some of it is terrible. And it's sad. I hate to quote the good old days of Tony Rumble, but by God, look at the size of the crowds then compared to what you see now. What do you see now? Anyone with eyes can explain it to you. So, again, if you want to train in professional wrestling, do your homework, even before, because believe me, any school you go to is going to give you a great song and dance. Look it up online. See who's graduated from School X. See what School X does with you once you're there. Find out what the trainers at School X have done. The internet is a great thing in 2012 as compared to some of the guys in the 80s and 90s and so on and so forth that got hustled for money and such. I mean, sometimes these schools come and go and disappear and take your money, and you never get any value out of it. So I'm looking out for the aspiring athlete, I guess. And remember, again, if you do want to enter this sport, you need to be an athlete. Unless you want to be a referee, a ring announcer, a commentator. There are different avenues to go to be involved in that way. And you know what? There is nothing wrong with being a hardworking member of a professional wrestling support staff. We have so many great guys in the MWF that help out. I'm not going to name names because I know I'll forget more than half of them, and I don't particularly like to play favorites and so on. But, I mean, not everyone in this world is meant to be a professional wrestler. It should not be like Little League Baseball where you go and sign up with mom and dad, pay your $100, and you're guaranteed to play 3 innings a game. It should be a way where you earn your way into the sport beyond paying to be trained. Not everyone that is trained needs to be a professional wrestler. I'll go back to the baseball analogies. There are some players in single A, double A, triple A. They will never make it to the major leagues. Some don't come to that realization. Some do, and they have part-time jobs in the off-season. But if you're going to go to a wrestling school, be realistic about it. You are not going to get rich. You need to have a job outside of the sport. Instead of worrying about money when you're working these different local regional shows, you need to look at it more as a college education to learn the business itself. And again, before you start working with different promotions, look at the history, what they've done, who they have there. What can you gain from the experience? That's what's most important, is learning. I was very, very lucky to break into the sport at a very young age, at only 13, when I was a freshman in high school, and just observe and absorb everything going on around me like a sponge. I think that's why my old school mentality has stayed with me for so long, because what I saw was a great success, and I learned from those that made it a great success. Nowadays, there are very few, never mind great successes, very few successes at all. So be prepared, be wise. If you don't do your homework, if you go to one of these schools with, I don't know, $2,500, $5,000, whatever they charge in your pocket, and you wind up going nowhere because you did not do your homework, it's your own damn fault. So there I am attacking independent promotions, schools, and aspiring wrestlers all at the same time. But why? Because I care about this sport very much, and I care about the fans' experience very much. Because once you piss on the fans' experience, it is very difficult to regain their trust again. I believe that wholeheartedly. That is something the MWF believes in wholeheartedly, as we have for over 10 years now. I could continue to go on and on, but this isn't a Dan Mirade shoot interview. It's just a little radio program to help you go to sleep at night. What's his name? David Allen Boucher, or whatever his name may be. Royal Rumble, as I mentioned earlier, Sheamus was not who I was expecting to win. I was told a surprise may be coming, and there was a surprise coming. It was great to see the return of my good friend Kharma, known as Awesome Kong. She competed here in the Millennium Wrestling Federation several times. She is a wonderful, big-hearted human being until that bell rings when she turns into an animal. I'm very happy to hear that she had a child on New Year's Eve. Our thoughts and well wishes go out to Kharma and her family. And I'm sure she's going to have an explosive return once she's ready to get back into the ring full-time. It was fun to see her in the Rumble, even though I'm not big on women being in the Rumble or ring announcers being in the Rumble. But, again, old-school mentality. But, again, my best to Kharma. She is just a great lady. I can't say enough great things about her. Her final match, thanks to WWE, before she went there, was in the MWF at Road to the Gold 2011 when she crushed Jay Buster inside a 15-foot-high steel cage. That match is still available on BostonWrestling.com. Another topic this week that I found rather interesting, reading people's opinions about, was Mike Tyson going into the WWE Hall of Fame. Now, I realize there are a lot of top superstars that should be in a Hall of Fame that are not. This year's class is shaping up to be a really good one between Edge, the Horseman, Mil Mascaras, who I don't know if he's been announced yet. It was announced to live crowds when WWE was in Mexico in the fall. But Mike Tyson. Why is Mike Tyson going into a Hall of Fame? Well, Let me explain this to you. Mike Tyson was the guest enforcer at WrestleMania 14 when Stone Cold Steve Austin really kicked the WWE into a new generation when he defeated Shawn Michaels for the World Championship. I was there for that. Half the CWA were Druids for The Undertaker. At the time, once it was all said and done, WrestleMania 14 was the all-time leader in pay-per-view buys in professional wrestling history. Why? Because Mike Tyson was the guest enforcer. Mike Tyson helped enhance what Stone Cold Steve Austin, DX, and the rest of WWE were doing. I mean, you know what? WWE has what they call a celebrity wing to their Hall of Fame that still needs a home, which I think would be fantastic. And if that's the case, Mike Tyson certainly belongs there as a celebrity that's been involved. When it comes to celebrities that have been involved in WWE at different times, he has to rank right up there with Mr. T and Cyndi Lauper, who helped make WrestleMania 1 a success instead of a disaster. Again, that's just my personal opinion, but if it wasn't for Mr. T and Cyndi Lauper, I don't think WrestleMania 1 would have been a success, or as much of a success as it was, and who knows if WWE would have went on to have WrestleManias the way they do now. From the modern era, well, the Attitude Era, so to speak, Tyson was the guy in helping establish the people that made WWE a billion-dollar company in the late 90s into the early 2000s. So does Mike Tyson belong in a professional wrestling Hall of Fame? No. Does Mike Tyson belong in a wrestling Hall of Fame that has a celebrity wing? 110% yes. My opinion, Mike Tyson gets the thumbs up if I was asked upon to vote, which I was not. My ballot must have got lost in the mail. Anyway, a lot going on. WWE is back here in March. You can check out WWE.com for all the information on that. My voice is just about done. I am tired. I want to see what's going on with the Super Bowl. We're going to edit this bad boy up, put it online. We will see you sooner than later on episode 6. You have a good one and enjoy the Super Bowl.